Oh, London? I know what we're gonna do. I know what we're gonna do. We played b3. So b3 is not a great move. I think the top engine move is g6 and bishop g7. However, shout out to Ms. Envy for the Envy Gambit. d6 and e5. This is a fun one. And we got an acceptance. And we just play bishop c5 and you just bring out your pieces and attack. You guys wanted it. You guys got it. Our first Gambit glasses of the day. Our first Gambit glasses of the day. And already an interesting question. Should we attack f2 again? Queen e2. Defend. And now maybe you're in a tough spot. I could also play knight g4. I could just be a normal person and just kind of play castles. But knight e4... Well, I think the thing is about queen e2 is that there's also queen b5 check. So I think it's going to be a no from me, dog. Now knight e4 just castles, they're fine. So let's just develop. And develop. And I think this position is just really nice and easy for black. Really nice and easy. Look how well my pieces just come out super easily. We got a gambit on the board. And white's going to be struggling. Your b3 move's really stupid. You know, you gotta, like, not lose your rook along this diagonal. And my next moves are just, like, rook d8 and rook e8. So let's hit him with a rook d8 right now. Okay, you wanted this. What if I take you, and here you have c3. So I also have rook e8 right now. I also have knight e4. Because knight e4, knight g3, right? I guess knight e4, bishop h4. Rook e8 is interesting. Take. Knight c3. And there might not be a good follow-up there. So let's just chill. Let's just take a chill pill here. Or unless I take it. What if we don't be chill and play like this instead? Knight d2. Also playable. Bishop h5, bishop here. I like this. Let's just keep up the pressure. Let's just keep up the pressure. So he goes with that, and just simple rook e8. Knight a4 is available. Okay. So if knight a4 is available, now I should probably take it. Well, you have this, yeah? This is an interesting little combo. What if I play knight d4? So now you don't have knight a4 because I can take it. Now when you take me, I play bishop takes d4. If you ever grab h5, then knight takes h5, right? Knight takes h5, and then your bishop is hanging. So you can't really take h5. If you can't take h5, what do you do? Because now your knight is hit, so you probably play knight a4 here. But then after knight a4, I play queen somewhere. Where's somewhere? Let's say c6. And now your rook and bishop are hanging. Let's say take. I can also take a1 here. But what if I take here, c3, knight g3, cd4? This is good. These are both hanging. What a cute little tactic. Hit him with knight d4 against their one resource. There was no knight a4 because this was hang with check. Let me slow down my mouse. Again. Okay. Alright, now we're just down 2 minutes on the clock, but I think we're winning because this is hanging. You gotta guard your bishop here. Somehow. And I can even play a b5? Knight b2? Do I want to torture him like that? Can I? Queen f6. Rook b1. Bring this guy to e8. Or I could just take it and take it like a normal person. Goes for bishop h4. What if I swung you around to g6? Could go rook c8, but this is all. Bishop e7 is no matter. Rook g6 is compelling. It's actually not easy to not get mated. So, okay, we trade our material advantage for something towards their king. Bishop f6 now? Also b5 at any moment traps the knight. No, that's not true. But it's not fun. But just h6 here. I guess they go queen d1? Let me add this. But no, I mean, this is not pleasant for white at all. Thrown in h6. You can't move this. You're still getting mated. They didn't have f3 before because my bishop was actually left over there with the pin. But now, like, so queen d1, I just play knight f4. Still pinned. I'm still down this pawn, which is why the Gambit glasses are still on, but... Yeah, we just kind of had such a great position that we were able to, you know, pressure here on the queen side, then we were able to shift that to the king side. You know, just took whatever the defense gave us. Defense couldn't cover everything. We had too many resources. And now we just take stuff. Throw in an HE3. Yeah, let's just take stuff. Om nom nom. Alright. Let's just be quick here. I want to go check and then like mate them on the H line. I'm sure that's possible if I do it right. It's like an 82 here. Monkey 1, check here, check, take, king takes g3. Probably don't want to allow king takes g3. But okay, I mean, I'll just go here. I'll just go here. Just be up lots of material. Oh, don't get forked on both rooks. Brutal. Check. Mate. Nice. I even liked my little pattern there at the end. I wanted to pause for a moment. What was the fastest mate? And I think I found it. GG! Fun one! NV Gambit! Crush those London players. Let's go. 94 accuracy. 94.1 accuracy. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Let's go. So, we face the London. C5. Love c5, immediate strike. Most people will play e3, of course, to support that pawn. I mean, d5 and d takes c5 are also moves, but e3 most London players will play, because that's consistent with their stuff. And queen b6. This is the one thing we can attack, right? You played a London bishop f4, solid setup, but one thing we can attack is the b2 pawn that you left. And main move goes knight c3 or knight a3, as Eric Rosen recommends, and we take it. And here there's a lot of theory after knight d5, and even like a forced draw after rook b1, rook a1. But we have the really, really fun option. We have the really, really fun option of like cd4, which gives the rook. London Crusher at 9,000. I'll link the full video here for my channel. But this is awesome stuff. This is awesome stuff. Here, white is losing when they took the rook. White is losing because they took the rook. b3 is not a good move. Because the issue white has is... Well, like, the best move is probably just g6. The top engine move is probably just g6 because the bishop here is now cooking. It's got a lot of targets here, c3, but this isn't the nice, pretty, solid, dark square pawn chain setup you were looking for if you're white. This pawn is actually a little bit weak and can be attacked because this pawn's on b3, which is not what white was looking for. So, but we have the interesting option of taking, and after pawn takes, queen takes, I'll know not a great choice because I don't have to give you that. And so after knight c6, not only do I get the nice a takes b6 opening my rook, but you don't have a pawn here anymore, and I'll just play e5, d5, taking the whole middle. Or I'll put my bishop on g7, attacking your rook, because, you know, your whole structure got messed up. Anyway, pawn takes d4, but we go d6 and e5. This is really fun stuff, and very difficult to decline, because how do you decline this? Bishop comes back, but now just e4 and d5, and black takes the whole board, essentially, and also difficult to protect this pawn. So, white accepts the gambit, takes. Knight takes e5, a little bit better per the engine, with the point being the knight can come to d3 and try to take this bishop. Regardless, black's play here in this gambit is really simple. Whether the move was knight f3 or anything else, I've faced c3 a number of times per London players, but regardless of what it is, bishop comes to c5, attacks f2 really quickly, the queen on b6 has this very useful job in addition to what she was doing to b2. It's so simple, it's just castles, knight here, rooks come here, and more often than not you have something winning, which is what I had in the game here. So my opponent plays knight f3, e5, we take, bishop c5, jumping, hitting f2, bishop came back. I'll note here, knight e4 was an option, but it did probably allow, I was scared of this move. But apparently this is totally fine, and I'm winning in this endgame. Interesting. It was an option, but so was castles was completely fine. Bishop e2. We just develop. My opponent now plays h3. Now rook d8 comes with tempo, so you can see how easy my moves work. Super safe king. No problems in my position whatsoever. Pieces just coming to the middle of the board. A good move here actually would have been knight e4, because if they take my bishop, now I take this bishop, and they've got too many things hanging here. They've got lots of problems. So I noted that during the game. I thought bishop h4 was a problem, because now I have got a couple things hanging myself. However, I actually have a lot of good options here. One of which is take and knight d4. Isn't that awesome? Because if you take my knight, I have knight e2. There's just so many cool resources. This is just like an example. There's so many cool resources when your pieces are so good and your opponents are so not. But yeah, knight e2 is a problem. So like, now let's say you take this. Uh-oh. Now I take f3 and f2. And I'm shifting along here. Wow, we just sacrifice everything and come checkmate you. Something like that. Something like that. We get in there. We just get in there. What a line that would have been. Okay, I just took... I'm only human. I took it a little more chill, and I went with just bishop h5. So h3, I just backed up bishop h5. Okay, oh well, missed opportunity. All right, my opponent played knight c3, which is a really logical move, because if they can play knight a4, which forks, so to speak, here, that's a really good trade for them and relieves a lot of the pressure that I could make here. And of course, my next move was going to be knight e4. But here we came up with, I think was a really creative idea. We played here knight to d4. My opponent takes it, right? So you had to take it. Knight a4, right? As aforementioned, that's a problem for you. So they take, bishop takes d4. And now the problem for you is you're got a lot of targets here, but there is actually one resource they had here. So knight a4 happened in the game. I played queen c6, which is correct. Right, their problem here is that if they take h5, which is what happened, knight takes h5 and g3 is hanging, right? Their pawn's not on h2, this is pinned, and g3 is hanging in addition to their rook. But that was their blunder. They should have played c3, take e2, and rook e1, and apparently they escape. They're going to get their piece back, and there's no good resource I have in this position. There's no great resource I have. I can get my pawn back, and I'm a tiny bit better here, but this actually, wow. Taken rook e1 and they were fine. Could I have gone somewhere better with my queen? Not really. Not really. This works out for them. Surprising, but it does. Surprising, but it does. Yeah, I didn't think that would work out for them either, just intuitively, but they've got everything protected, right? The knight is protected, so it's not like bishop b5 like is going to win anything. I can win my pawn back. But, yeah, they went for just take h5 because they didn't think that would work, and they tried to throw in a bishop h4 here, which is worth a shot. Here, right? So, for example, if they play c3 to try and guard their rook here, their problem is knight takes g3 and knight e2 is threatened, among other things. So bishop h4. They're still up a pawn here, and it looks like, okay, you're threatening to win exchange, I'm threatening to win exchange. That should be fine. But we have a great move here, which is rook to d6. Just rook to d6, so I'm still down the pawn. And they play c3. Saving their rook here. And it looks like, okay, if my bishop wants to stay on this good diagonal, it's going to have to get traded for this knight. Otherwise, my bishop, even if I play bishop e5 here, I'm still actually doing excellently. But I have this great resource with rook to d6. Suddenly, some other things open up on the board, and it's rook g6, and suddenly I'm looking at your king. You don't have f3 here to guard mate, because my bishop is still there. And you really have no good way to guard mate. Right? Like, what are you going to do? G4? G3, I take it, by the way. G3, I take it. And I just win everything and crash through. G4, I still don't have to guard my bishop because I have this awesome move, queen f3, cd4, and among other things here, Queen takes h3 is winning as well, but knight f4, and no way to stop checkmate here or on a number of other checkmating spots. You should give your queen and lose. So, yeah, really cool stuff. My position's just so good that I'm just able to focus from the queen side to the king side. I've got lots of resources in this position, so in this complications, suddenly rook g6 becomes a really nice threat. My queen shifted over, here, circumstances pointed to g2 being a problem, and now there's really not a lot white can do. So they play bishop g5, right? Remember, they can still never hold a bishop on g3. So they try bishop g5 here. I just play bishop f6, getting my bishop out of hot water and attacking this. Of course, you still can't move that. g2 is hanging, and there's really not a lot you can do to me. I throw in a b5 here just because I can, and that seems annoying for you to move your knight. You know it's bad when f3 or knight c5 are the recommended moves, both of which just lose the knight cleanly. Knight b2, h6, and the bishop finally is toast. Here, queen d1 wasn't going to help matters because I can even just jump knight f4. The bishop really is pinned, and now I reintroduce a mate threat on g2. f4 in the game, and then I just took some stuff. I took here, I played knight g3, I pinned them here, and we didn't flag. Instead, we forked and won another rook, and checkmated them. GG here. Go crush those London players, chat. Go crush those London players. Yeah, what I want you to do is play this line if they, jump out. So bishop f4, jump out, go attack b2 right away. Go attack b2 right away. Most people will play knight c3 or knight a3, and then check out the London Crusher 9000 video on my channel where you've got e5 and bishop b4, which is still a good move to play, as covered in the video, even if they don't take your rook. So that's fun stuff. And then otherwise, queen c1 just drops this pawn. So b3, take, and we've got this awesome gambit. d6, e5, really easy to play for black. Go get them. Subscribe.
William Grave, the Gambit man, takes his seat at the board. e4, e5, knight f3, bishop c5. The Bushcast Gambit on the board. On with the Gambit classes. Hero pod unlocked.